I'm Nathan with Rutherby Board Gaming, and today I'm going to be playing a 3-player playthrough of Astra. An old game, but is it a good old game? Well, I'll let you decide. Come along and see for yourself. First, let's talk about this amazing insert. This is another one of those games where they came with a nice insert. This here is just to kind of keep stuff from sliding around and also to give a little stability in the middle. You got your player boards with all the information that you'll need to play, instruction manual. Here is the score track and the board where your cards will go. That will be kind of like an assembly line, but an order of operations that will happen in the game. We'll set that off to the side for now. And look at this. Look. This is great. This is great. Now these haven't even been opened because I've only played this a couple of times, handful of times with 3 players. So I just have these 3 colors open. But you have these little spaceships, which look really cool. Then you've got these, which are like geoformers. And you've got little pyramid excavator type things, and everybody has those in their own color. Here's another little factory. Just really cool. Alright, got all the cards, so let me go away and start setting this up, and then we'll start playing. Each player will have a small deck of cards that are almost identical. The movement cards are slightly different. We'll get into that, but as I said, these are not open, so I will just put these away for now and put the scoring tokens of each player on the 0 to start. This is just a little advertisement token for first player. So I'm going to move these off screen. And I will just say it'll be blue, gray, and yellow in the first round, and we'll make the blue player the first player. Every player will get a reference card. This tells you how much things cost to build. And over here is some scoring when scoring comes up. There's a few extra bonus points that are not mentioned here, and we'll talk about those when they come up. On the back is a reference sheet with all the alien artifacts. So when one comes up, we'll take a look at this. Over here I've already started setting up the resources. The backs of the resources have this gear symbol, and you can just set those beside the table. Each player will get 1 resource of each type. So let's take a look at those. From left to right we have water, then we have vegetation or food, we have energy or starship fuel, then we have these 3 ores. We have xanthium, gyodium, and zozodium. Don't need to worry about the names. The icons are represented for what you need to build what items. Next up we have these alien artifact cards. Now it's recommended possibly for your first learning game you might want to remove these 2 as they just add a little more randomness to the game. One of them adds points, one gives an instant win condition. So we'll look at those later, but for now we'll just set those in the box, and we will shuffle these up and set them off to the side of the table over here. Then you have these planets. We'll give these a quick shuffle, and we're just going to spread them out on the table. And of course, unfortunately, our starting system is way up here. This is where each player will start. You take 1 planet for each player. Each player will start with 1 free starship out anywhere in what's called deep space. It's not on a planet, it's just out in space. Then we're going to start with the first player. They can randomly select a planet and flip it over, and they get that for free. Oh, there you go. The blue player gets a factory there. So the gray player will go next, and they'll just use this one. Okay, this is an alien planet. You cannot start the game with one of those, so we'll just randomly, there we go, an energy planet. That is always great to start with. That leaves this planet, which is also an alien planet, and they got a vegetation planet there. Doesn't matter that their ship's not next to that. I mean, all of the black deep space is one plain area for this game. These I'm going to mix up into some of these stacks of planets here. And we'll just do that. Now with the rest of these, we will place them around the remaining star systems, and I may have to move stuff around, but each star system must have at least 3 planets and no more than 7. So let's just start here, and we'll just make this a small one since it's so close to the starting area. And let's really randomize this. I'm going to start putting some planets just randomly, and then we will come back. Now because of space restrictions, no pun intended, but I've rearranged some of these and I've got the planets really close to the stars. That won't matter for this game, but they're all face down. Each one of these planets has, or star systems, I'm sorry, has a little symbol here. Those will show up on transportation cards, but basically you have yellow and red, and you have small dot, you have the spiral nucleus, you have the large red, and then you just have a still solid red dot. Now with that, I think we're ready to begin. As things come up, I will try to insert some photos, because I want to try and keep the game board or kind of on screen and the action track. One thing that's neat, in a 3 or 4 player game, you stop here at the 12, and these last 3 are kind of off to their side. That's only used in a 5 player game. Also, the 50 is white, where all the other numbers are black circles. Once a player reaches this mark, you finish the round, even number of turns, game is over. Or if every one of these planets has been visited and flipped over, the game will end that round as well. So let's get started with how to play and the blue player, first player turn. The first player will take one of their cards face down and place it here in the queue. That will be the first action to resolve. Then you go to the next player and they place one. Well, they have decided they want to go here. You can go anywhere in the grid. You don't have to fill them up in number order. And the yellow player actually is going to go here. And the blue player thinks, well, what are those people doing? I'm going to go here and then here. And the yellow player has some sort of strategy going on. Blue player, gray player, yellow player, and then we just finish out like this. So you try to guess what your opponent's going to do, where they're going to place cards. In the first round, you have a lot more information about what's going on, so it can be a little bit easier. So now that everybody has placed their cards, we start with the first one. We flip it over, and it's a movement. Now, the blue player, since they played this card, they will get to go first. They can choose either the red loopy looking symbol or the nexus symbol. They are going to, now since their ship is in deep space, this movement is free, so they're going to fly to this system. Now they get to look at all of these secretly. Let's see, what do they want? What do they want? I think they're going to go here. And they can land on that planet. Now we go in turn order to the next player. And they can go to either of the symbols. Well, they like this idea. There's still plenty of choices. So why don't they just grab their ship, fly over here, and they'll start looking. What do they want? You know what? They're going to go for this other ore and just land there. Now it's the yellow player. They're going to fly all the way over here. Yeah, this is what I saw, and I was like, yep, that's what they want. They didn't know that that water was there, but 5 choices compared to 3, so they took a chance. They got what they wanted. That card is resolved. We can leave it there for now. This is a build card. Oh, also, with the movement card, now that everyone has moved one of their ships, the player that played this, the blue player, could move the rest of their ships if they wanted, if they had the fuel. Some movements cost fuel. Now, starting with the blue player, he can build as many of these icons, ships, colonies, factories, or terraformers that he has the resources for and meets the requirements. He would have loved to have had a factory, but to build a factory there, you first have to have a colony. So, this is the little pyramid-shaped colony. Colonies cost 1 water, 1 food, and then 1 of any of the 3 ores. They chose this one because this is a planet that produces the zizodium. They can only build this because they have the resources and they have explored that planet and have a ship on it at this moment. So they build the colony. They discard these back to the supply, and they chose that ore since that is what that planet will produce. Now, starting with the gray player, they have a chance to build if they want, and then the yellow player in turn order. Obviously, the gray player thinks this is a great idea, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to use the xanthium, since they are on a planet that produces that. And the yellow player would also like to follow suit. Now, they're on a water planet, so they're going to use this, since they know this player just built there. They're hoping maybe they can trade later. Who knows? But they will build a colony there. Everybody has built everything that they can. So this card is resolved, so we move to this card. This is the production symbol. Resource production. So starting with the player that played this, the gray player, they may choose either the energy, fuel, or this here, the xanthium. Well, they just built on a xanthium planet. They would like to produce xanthium. They will get 1, 2 xanthium production and put that into their inventory. Then we go to the next player. They cannot choose the other one. Since xanthium was chosen, they produce xanthium and yep, of course, no, they don't have it, and neither does the blue player. That is why the gray player went ahead and played that so early in the turn order. Next card. Here we have a scorecard. You can choose either your colonies or your factories or your starships, and then you score points based on those. So maybe they were hoping if they could get their colony down quickly, nobody else would, but of course the first turn of the game. Plus you do kind of want to play these early because you cannot get this card back. We will go over that in a moment until all the cards are played. So it doesn't matter. Everybody has 1 starship, 1 colony, and 1 factory. But the colonies would score 1 point, 2 points for each factory, 2 points for each starship, and 3 for a terraformer. So why not? It doesn't really matter. They'll just choose the factory. Everybody has 1. Everybody will score 2 points, 1, 2. And since there was a tie on the most being 1, as long as 2 players tie for the most, there's no bonus 3 points. But on all these scoring cards, if you or any player that is the sole winner in points earned on that card earns an extra 3 points. So you got to pick and choose when you play the cards. And also, since they chose the factory, another player could not say, nope, I'm going to score the stars. The owner of the card chose, we are going to score, boom, factories. Everybody did that. We go to the next card. Oh, and we have another scoring card. Now this one says, turn in resources of the same, or turn in resources that are different. So now we understand why they chose an early production and chose this mineral. They built right there on that, so they know that not a lot of other people have a lot of duplicate cards, so they're just going to choose the same card. So you can do as many as you want that are at least 2 of the same. They have exactly 2. They will turn these in to earn 2 points for that. 1 point for each card. 1, 2. And since nobody else is turning in any cards, they score no points. He is the sole top point earner. 1, 2, 3 bonus points for that. Yellow player. Okay, so they want to produce food or ore. They're going to produce food since they are the only person that has any ability to gather food at the moment. Here's another food or ore, and that is the blue player. So maybe they will just choose, of course, this one. And if you notice, not only did they choose a resource that they know nobody else has right now, well, somebody could have moved there, but each faction's cards are a little bit different. This one is produce food, or the Yoyodium. This one is produce food, or the Zozodium. So they're all just a little bit different, each faction. Next card, production. And this is the gray player. Well, they are unfortunately not on the correct planet. Maybe they got mixed up. They were hoping to have done that, or I played the wrong card. Either way, they're going to choose this. No one gets any. Production, water or energy. Unfortunately, they don't have any energy production, and there's 2 people with water production. So when they choose water, they will get 1, 2 water. But the blue player will also receive 2 water production. Build. Here's another build. Starting with the yellow player, the player that played the card, they now have 2 food and 2 water. They would like to terraform. You can only terraform a planet where you have at least another item. Ship, colony, factory, whatever. They will put this here. And on the player sheet, this is one thing it does remind you, you instantly score 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they will pass. They don't really want to, I don't think they have the, they don't have the resources to build anything else. So we would go to the blue player. And if you see here, to build a starship, it costs 1 of each ore plus an ore of your choice. Well, they just so happen to have 1, 2, 3 different ores, and then an extra ore. So they will build a starship. Now, when you build the starship, that first build of it immediately goes into deep space, anywhere on the table, but it's in deep space, so that its first movement will be free. So they happen to get really fortunate there, and the gray player does not have the supplies to build anything. Here's another scoring. This is the yellow player. Now that is why they rush production on the food and the water. They are going to score terraformers. Well, if you look, they are the only player on the board that has a terraformer on any planet. 1, 2, 3. They scored the most points with that. 1, 2, 3. And then we will... Oh, and by the way, this symbol, in case it comes up, represents star systems. But unfortunately, everybody is tied at the moment. This is a star system everybody has built at least once. This is a star system everybody has built there once, and none of the other star systems have been explored. So you don't look at the total number of builds on the system. It's, do you have something built there? Yes. Tick, that's 1. Do you have something built there? Yes. Tick, that's 2. So everybody is at 2 right now. So, of course, he went with the terraformer. Trade. When the trade card is revealed, every player must show their entire hand. I have denoted those with these colony tokens. Then with the ship token, I have denoted the player that played that card. They are the only one that can trade. They can offer trades to other players, or they can trade 2 of the same resource to the bank for 1 resource. They are going to offer up their ore, the ioyodium, which the blue player cannot produce, and offer it for a water. And the blue player is going to accept. So the players are just going to swap resources since they both agreed. And that will end this round, this turn. The gray player decided to call off all trades. So then you look, scoring cards will remain unavailable, and I'm just going to put them off to the side for now. Each player has 3 scoring cards in their deck, and you cannot retrieve these back until you have played all 3 of them. So we'll just leave those there as a reminder. Then each player gets back their cards, and I am sorry, I forgot, the last player to play a scoring card will become the first player in the next round. Actually, I was supposed to go ahead and give them that token immediately, but we'll do it now. Starting with the new first player, the yellow player. They are wanting to just do that. Then the blue player will actually do this. And the gray player was thinking something similar, but they're going to go there. Yellow player, blue player will go there. Gray player, then back to the blue. I'm sorry, the yellow, then the blue, and then the gray player, yellow, blue, and finally the gray. Now we're ready to resolve these. Now the movement cards, there's no line between the 2 systems, meaning that you must choose one and then everybody does it. On this, you get to choose one of those 2. Every player does. But he is just going to, since he only has 1 ship, it would cost 1 energy to go in, or 1 fuel to go into deep space, or he can simply fly to another planet within this system for the same 1 energy. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to spend 1 energy, and we just repeat the process that he did earlier. After looking at these in secret and weighing his options, he will fly to this planet, which is an energy planet. Now we go to the next player, the blue player, and they can move one of their ships to either the red, that red, or this red. Now they decided, since they already have a ship built in deep space, this is unexplored, this is a great opportunity. They don't even have to pay the fuel. So they will look at these planets and decide they already have that. They don't have food and they don't have that ore. I think they are going to go with food for now. Now we go to the yellow person, or I'm sorry, the gray player, and for 1 energy they can fly to one of these planets or to deep space. Well, that's not going to do them a lot of good, so I think they're going to do the same thing. For 1 energy, they're going to stay in this star solar system. On second thought, they decided not to, because I forgot. I've already messed up before, but I'm going to correct that. They're just going to go into deep space for the 1 energy. Now it would go back to the yellow player, and they can move all of their other ships, but they don't have any, so that card is resolved. Production. Yellow will choose water. Now they have a terraformer and a colony on the water. Now that terraformer does give you presence there so that you could later build, but it does not produce. It gives you points. It does not give you production. So they will get 1 water, and that is it. Looking at their other planets. So then we go to the blue player. Well, they have a factory, so they will actually get 2 water. And then the gray player has no water at the moment, so they miss out. Next card, production, energy, or the xanthium. I really think that the blue player was hoping to have landed on one of those 2 planets by now, but they didn't. So they just mistimed their card. It's not a huge deal. They just miss out on their turn. Now they're looking here, and there is some energy. There is some energy. Both the other players would get energy, but no one has built yet on the xanthium, so they're just going to choose xanthium, and nobody gets anything. Next card. Now we have food or xanthium. Well, the yellow player just has the original factory there, so they will take 2 food, and the blue player will actually get 1 free food from their ship. Remember, ships and colonies will produce 1 of the resource, and the factory is 2. The terraformer is nothing. And unfortunately, the gray player missed out. Gray player, they played a movement card, and this is why I wanted to take that back. They wanted to go to a different system, and they're going to choose for theirs this system. So let me look at those planets real quick. And they found what they wanted, a food planet. Now remember, they spent their energy earlier to break Atmo and get into deep space, and then traveling to a new planet doesn't cost an energy in this game. So they get to land on this planet, a planet that is in that system. They got on the food planet. Now we go to the yellow player, and they can choose to do this if they want. Unfortunately, the yellow player currently does not have any fuel, and the blue player does have 1, but they've decided they don't want to move. They want to try and gather resources later. So this movement phase is over. We go to this card, and the gray player, there's why. They were hoping to get some food. So they will take 1 for this. But then unfortunately we go down to the yellow player, and we know that they have a factory there. And then the blue player just explored and got 1 food there. It's unfortunate, but the gray player knew he needed that. And now the blue player. Well, they just got a bunch of food from other players, so they decide instead they are going to produce the zozodium. So they will get 1, 2 of that. And turn order, gray player, none. Yellow player, none. Now I will say in this game, there is no limit on your resource card hand. The only limit is the number of cards, which in a 5-player game it could happen. And what you would do is you simply deal out the resources gathered in player order, and if you run out, you run out. That person just misses out. Now, the gray player has built a build. And they have just enough, one food now, one water, and one of a type of ore, so that they can put a colony out where they have presence and they don't have a factory. You can only have a colony or a factory, not both, but otherwise you can stack the things up. So going in player order now, we go to the yellow player, and do they want to build? The yellow player absolutely will, for one food, one water, and one ore, and they're going to choose this Yodium and build here. And then the blue player, they kind of surprised everyone. They are going to build a terraformer right there where their ship is on this planet. And remember, terraformers, they don't give you production, but they do instantly score you points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They were lagging behind there, so that'll help them catch up just a little bit. Oh, and now the yellow player has a build. The yellow player already built what they wanted to on the gray player's turn. So we go to the blue player. They need either one food or one of the other ores, the xanthium, so they are just short from building. They can't, and the gray is out of resources, so that build phase does nothing. Now we have a scoring phase. 2 cards or more of the same, or cards that are unequal. Now, since there's only 6 resources, this can score you anywhere from 2 to 6 points, one of each card. No duplicates. And here, if you had 20 water, you could turn 20 in for 20 points. So let's see what the blue player is going to do. They are going to turn in these 2 for 2 points. Gray player has no resources at the moment because I've messed their play up a little bit. Yellow player decides, you know what? Haha, I have 3 food. I'm going to discard 3 for 3 points. 1, 2, 3, and take the bonus 1, 2, 3. If the blue player had known this or been paying better attention, they might have chosen the other. They could have gotten 3 resources out, but it is what it is. That's something where you kind of have to see what the other players are doing and memorize stuff, and sometimes you just go with your gut. They messed up there, no big deal. Oh, now the gray player, they want to score either ships or colonies and factories. Well, they were going to do colonies because they have 2, and they realized yellow was able to build a colony as well. But they're still going to do colonies and get 2 points. Blue will get 1 point, and yellow will get 2 points. And since there was a tie, yellow and gray both got 2 points. No one gets the bonus 3. And then the last card, there we go. Blue, red, or the star. Well, they don't have a ship into deep space. So all they can do is spend their 1 energy to move one of their ships. They're going to choose this one and move it into deep space. And they're going to leave that ship on that planet for now. And that ends the round 2. So we'll gather up these cards. This will go here. And this scoring card will go here. Then the players will gather these. The last played scoring card will be the first player in the next round. Starting with the new first player, let's see how this goes. They will go there. And the yellow player is quick to follow up there. And the blue player, they all wanted to try and get some action out very quickly. Then the gray player just continuing along. The yellow player decides to go there, then the blue player there. Gray player is going to move there. Let's see. Now the yellow player is confused. What is everybody wanting to do? So let's do that. The blue player decided they want to do that at the end. So now the gray player will go there, and yellow player says, haha, hope I messed up your plans. You can go there. And now we will resolve the cards in order. Energy or the Xanthium, and the gray player will choose to do the energy. They have a factory. They will get 2 energy. They could have done the Xanthium and made sure that nobody else got any resources, but they really need the energy to be able to move their ship. So then we go to the next player, yellow. Yellow 2. And then the blue player, nope, nope, nope. So you can see this would go much quicker if everybody was paying attention for themselves. Yellow, well, they had the same idea. So now do they want to change and go water? I think they will. Since they already got energy from the gray player's card, they decide they're just going to take a water. Nope. They see all this water that the blue player would get for free. They said, nuh-uh. I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 energy. The blue player will get nothing, and then the gray player will get their 2 energy. They know the gray player has been hurting. They would rather help them out than the blue player. And the blue player wants to explore. Now, if you remember, once a ship is in deep space, they can go to one of those icons for free, to a planet on that icon. And since this one still has 6 unexplored planets, they're going to move to this star system and look at those. After seeing how much they missed out on, they decide to land here on this fuel-producing planet. We go to the yellow player. The gray player. Now, they just received a lot of energy. They have plenty. So where do they want to go? Now remember, for 1 energy you can move into deep space or to another planet in your system. They'll go to deep space. And then for 1 energy, you can move from deep space to a planet. And they're going to choose the same system. And I've already looked. Here is a water, so they can finally get onto a water planet. The yellow player, well, they have plenty of energy as well. So are they going to follow suit? And I double checked to make sure, yes, they played this card. They don't want to follow suit. They're going to stay there in that system for now. So now it goes back to the blue player. They move this ship. They could move that ship if they wanted, but they don't have any fuel. Movement is done. Gray player. Oh, well, they played a movement card. So we have the red dot, which they're already at, and then we have the yellow helix. So they have plenty of energy. They could, if they wanted, just move, but do they want to? I believe the gray player is happy with finally getting a water planet, and the yellow player, again, doesn't want to move. They moved on the other turn back to the blue player. They don't have any energy, so that movement is done. Blue player, scoring. Okay, so they're going to do terraformers or star systems. Each terraformer is worth 3 points, but they have a presence. Even though it's just a ship, they have a presence in this star system. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. They will get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. The gray player, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the yellow player, they only have 1, 2, unfortunately. And since both those players, blue and gray, tied, there is no bonus points. Oh, production. Food or the Zazodium. I think they're going to go with food. They're going to get 1 here. And I believe that is it for the blue player. Yes, unfortunately, We go to the gray player. Well, now the gray player will get some benefit from another player's turn. They will get a food there, and it looks like that is it. And then the yellow player, they will actually get 2 food. They are happy with that. That is all for that card. Then we have another movement, yellow. This is why they did not want to move earlier. They want to move within the same system because they remembered when they were looking for this, they saw, is it this one? Yes. They're just going to move next door and land on that planet that produces that ore. So now we have to go in order and see if the other players want to move. Well, the blue player doesn't have any energy. They can't move a ship. But what about the gray player? We know they have the energy, but they really want to stay on this water planet. They don't want to spend energy just to move away, so they're just going to pass on movement. Yellow player. Now they can produce food or the ore. Well, they got food on somebody else's turn, and they just went to that ore planet so that they could produce it. So, Yodium. Is there anyone else? No. That is one reason they wanted to go there. They knew they were the first person to land on a planet producing that ore. Then the gray player, food or water. Well, they finally are on a planet, and even though it's going to help other people, they need to get that water. They're going to get water. Then the blue player will get 2, and that's it. And then the yellow player will get 1. Next card is a scoring. Well, they're going to do the star system again. This is what they were trying to do. They were trying to expand out, but the blue player beat them. So we know that both of these players will get 1, 2, 3, 4, and the yellow player will get 2. So both those players called up a little bit. No bonus. And blue is going to do production. Well, it just so happens they had their original ore card left, and they acquired in this turn some water and some food, so they will build a colony right there on this energy producing planet. Now, looking at the yellow player, they don't quite have the resources to build this turn, unfortunate. So what about the gray player? So what about the yellow player? Well, they absolutely do. If you remember, they had some ore left over, but they just produced an ore. They're going to use that and the food and water they just got in this game round to produce them a colony right there. On to the last card, and we have another scoring. Cards of the same resource or cards of the different resource. And now, one thing I've been doing wrong, and with these cards, you actually start with the next player, so that the player that played this will go last. That way they can decide whether or not they want to spend their resources. So instead of the yellow player going first, we'll make the blue player go first. I'll try to do that correctly. I wanted to make a note of that for those watching the video. Looking at his hand of cards, the yellow player chose to go with the same resource and said, blue player, you must go first. Well, they said, okay, why not? I will spend my 2 water cards, and I will move 1, 2. So then we go to the gray player, and they say, well, no, I'm going to match you, but I'm going to play 2 energy. I don't want you to run off and leave me. Now, seeing that, the yellow player has 4 energy here, but they're only going to spend 3. They only need to spend 3 to get the bonus. So they will 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 bonus for having the most points earned from that card. They will become the new first player since they played the last scoring card of the round. And then blue and gray. They each have already played all 3 of their scoring cards, so they will take these back along with their resource cards. So let me do that, and we'll get ready for the next round. The yellow player will be first. and they'll just go first there. Next comes the blue player, and they have some plans, but the gray player decided they're not in a rush. But the yellow player is, and the blue player is as well. And again, the gray player is not in a rush. But these other two players kind of are. They're fighting over trying to get their stuff done. And the gray player is just hoping that they can get their stuff to work. And that is fine with the gray player. Everybody is happy with that. And production. Now, they just built on this planet, but they're going to do something sneaky. They're going to produce food and surprise everybody. Well, they'll take 2 food. Then we look 1 to the blue player, and they were happy about that because they were out of resources, and then the gray player will actually get 1. So everybody's happy. Everybody got a little something. The blue player, they decide energy because, or fuel, because they don't have a planet on that type of ore. So we'll just start up there where I can kind of see what's going on. We'll go ahead and give the gray player 2 energy. I have plenty of resource cards. Nope. Yellow player will get 1. And blue player will get 2. Yellow player wants to trade. This is why they chose food. They have 3 food cards and they're hoping to get a trade in with someone. So they are going to ask, hey, does anyone got a gold bar? The Zodium? They want to trade for a food? Well, let's just see real quick. Now, if you remember, normally all of the cards would be out on display. Now, they're looking around, and they know that nobody has any, so they're going to say, hey, does anybody want a food for 1 fuel? And they're like, well, you got 2 fuel, and I don't know, I don't understand. And everybody's looking, and he needs at least 2 fuel to go anywhere unless he stays in that system. So the blue player is going to ponder for a moment. He says no. The gray player says no, and this was really unfortunate. So he will spend with the bank 2 to get 1 of those. And now, unfortunately, he didn't want to, but now he's going to spend his 2 energy to get 1 of these ores, even though he can produce it right there. He didn't want to, but knowing the cards that he played, that was his only really backup option. And this is why the blue player did not want to trade with him. He's already here, but nobody's in this star system, and the blue player wants to get over there, so they will, for 2 energy, leave Atmo, get into deep space, and fly to this star system. And I think they like the look of this. They will go there. And now the other players get the chance to move. Now we go to the yellow player, and they had built the build card. They wanted to build another ship, but they could not quite get the extra ore that they needed. So that is just wasted for them. But we go to the blue player who only has 1 food, and then we go to the gray player, and they are just missing 1 water from being able to build 1 ore. So that card was wasted. It happens. Ooh, and we have a scoring. This is why the blue player did not want to trade. They wanted to get out of the system. They're going to score systems. They are now have a presence in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solar systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gray player, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the yellow player is still only 1, 2. So they are really catching up. And since he scored the single most points, 1, 2, 3 bonus points. Yellow player. Okay. They no longer have any fuel. They spent all their fuel getting ore, so they can't go to this system. It's wasted for them. The gray player is the only one that has any fuel left. They would like to go there because they don't. This is one thing: is each faction does not have every star system charted and available on their cards. So sometimes you have to piggyback on other players to get places. But they're going to stay. They want to try and build there. I don't know if they'll get it done. Blue player. Food or ore. Well, they have one food. They're just going to go ahead and get some ore. And does anyone else? No. Now the gray player. They're going to produce this ore. And I don't think anyone else has any. Nope. Now, do they want to build? Now they can build because they have a food, a water, and any ore. There we go. Colony on that water producing planet. Clean water. And now they're going to score. Oh, that's why they didn't want to leave. They wanted that colony. They're going to score colonies. So looking out, they have 1, 2, 3 colonies. They will score 1, 2, 3 points. Blue player, 1, 2. Yellow player, 1, 2. They have the single most, 1, 2, 3, and they are tied again with the blue player. 29 to 34. And the last card, water or food. They have some food, no water, and they just built here. They're going to take 2 water. Yellow player will get 1 water here. That looks like it. And then the blue player will get 2 water. The gray player was the last player this round to play a scoring card. They become the first player, so I just moved that up to the gray player. These will go there. I'll gather these up and we'll come back for the next round. Gray player and the yellow player and the blue player. Looks like they all have some things they want to get done. And then the gray player and the yellow player and the blue player, and then the gray player is going to go there, and the yellow player says I'll go right about there, and the blue player says I'm happy to go there, and he really wanted to go here. He messed up, so he will just go there and hope for the best. And there we go. Water or food production. He chooses food. Gray will get 1. And yellow will get 2. And I believe blue will get 1. Food or ore? Well, he definitely wants to go with the ore. He's going to get 2. But looking over here, the blue snuck onto that planet. He's going to get some, and the gray player is left out. Blue player wants to build. Well, they were lucky enough. They're just going to go ahead and use this ore since they just got it. Nope. Actually, they're going to use this one. They already have a thing there. So they will build. For 1 food, 1 water, and 1 ore of any kind, they will build a colony. Right there. And I guess it really didn't matter which ore they used. Since the blue player is the owner of the build card, they can build as many items, as many times as they want, as long as they have the resources. So for another food, another water, and another ore of any kind, they will go ahead and set up a colony here as well. Going to the gray player. Well, I forgot to mention you can only terraform water planets and food planets. You might have kind of guessed that, but here they are. They have a presence here as long as they have a starship or a colony, either one. So for 2 wood, or I'm sorry, 2 food and 2 water, they will build a colony right there and immediately score 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And the yellow player, they have 1 of each ore, so they're going to do something a little different. They are going to replace this colony with a factory. Now, they could have done this one, even though there's not a ship there. As long as you have a colony, you can replace it with a factory. But they decided to go right here with that ore, and they can just return that colony to the board. That is done with that build phase. The next card is production, energy, or this ore for the gray player. They still have some energy cards, so I think they're going to focus on this ore and take 1. Then we go to the yellow player, and I think they don't have any. Nope. And then the blue player, nope, they don't either. So yellow player, they want to build. Well, they probably wanted to build something, but they've already taken care of that. But it is their build turn, and they can build now if they like. Now, you cannot have a colony where a factory is. And they don't have any presence anywhere, and they don't have the resources to build anything else. So, they've already built, it's just wasted. Nobody else has any resources. Blue player, food or gold. Well, I think they'll go ahead and produce the gold, and they will get 1, the zazonium. And does anyone else? Nope. So then we go to blue player, energy, or, well, they just built over here, so now they'll get 2 of those ores. And we know that the yellow player just built a factory, so they will actually get 2 for the factory, and then 1 because they have a colony ship there. So they get 3 of that ore. And unfortunately, the gray player misses out again. Yellow player wants to do a trade. So let's look at that. So here we have the trade set up, and you can see the yellow player is stocked on resources, but they look at that gray player and say, hey, you can't produce this yodium, and I can't produce that zadium. Why don't we do a trade 1-to-1? And the gray player says, no, give me 2. He goes, no, I can give 2 to the market at any time. This is not Catan. All right, yes, I'll take it. And he's happy that he traded, and he does that. Then with the bank, he will trade. Since he knows the blue player won't, he's not even going to offer. He's going to trade 2 of these and take 1 of those. Now he's looking pretty good. And he's going to call off the trade. He says he's happy with the trades so far. Actually, while he's at it, he says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and trade with the bank as well. Why not? Just get me another one of those to hold in reserve. Energy or water production. Well, although he would only get 1 water, he's going to go ahead and take that to set himself up in the future for a play. So the blue player will receive 1, 2 water, 1 for the colony ship and 1 for the colony, and then let's see, 2 water. Now the gray player, oops, I gave them their water. So there we go. The gray player will get 2 water and the blue player will get 2 water. Yellow player got 1. Gray player, red dot or yellow helix. They were able to get a colony down here and a terraformer, and they have 2 energies, so they're going to spin that, and they're going to go to the yellow helix. And they are hoping to get, say, the gold. There we go. They'll just stop looking and land right there. So then we go to the yellow player, who does not have any fuel, they can't follow. Their ship is stuck on a planet. And likewise, the blue player has no fuel, and their ships are on the planet. So we are done with that movement. And then the blue player, unfortunately, maybe they thought that somebody else would do energy, but everybody did the ore, so they don't have any fuel. Nobody has fuel. Nobody's going anywhere. And the gray player, they can build something. And they already built on a previous turn, so maybe they were planning on building here, but they're unable to. They don't have the cards. The blue player doesn't have the resources, but with all that mining and trading, they have one of each resource and another resource of their choice, or ore, I'm sorry. One of each ore and an ore of their choice, and they will build a colony ship. It starts off in deep space, and that is the end of that round. Let me grab the cards and we'll come back. Since no one played a scoring card last round, the first player token remains with the gray player. They will go here. Looks like everyone has a few things they want to get done early in the round. And they're just continuing to pile them up. There, and now the blue player breaks the trend, but these other guys are like, nope, nope, nope. I want to get what I have planned, get it activated as quickly as possible. Gray player, water or food. Well, they have 2 water. If you look here, they could get 2 food, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to get, I'm sorry, here. If you look here, they'd get 1 food, the gray player. And, yep, that's it. Then we go to the yellow player. And let's see. Yep, 2 food for the yellow player. And then the blue player will get 1, 2. Yep, and that is it. Ooh, yellow player. They can score factories or colonies or the ship. And guys, I'm sorry, I've been playing this wrong, so I'll just make a note of it when I edit the video, and it actually lengthened the game a little bit, and I'm sorry about that. It does change things slightly. It could even alter the outcome of the game, but in this instance, so 2 points for a factory, 1 point for a colony, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 points to the yellow player, taking them up to 40. Then we go to the blue player. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They will also get 6, taking them up to 35. And then the gray player will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since blue and yellow tied, there will be no bonus. He was hoping to just do factories and he would win. But that is my mistake, and I apologize. But that is that card done. Water or blue player will take 2 water from their factory. The gray player will take 1 water from their colony. And then the yellow player will take 1 water from their colony. Gray, they are trying to build. So for 1 food, 1 water, and 1 ore, they will build a colony. Oops, here. We move to the They're out of resources. They're done building. We move to the yellow player. They can build one item if they like. And they have, oops, too many, 2 food and 2 water. On their home starting planet, they will build a colony, or I'm sorry, a terraformer, and they will move 1, 2, 3, 4 immediately. Then the blue player is going to do the same thing with 2 food and 2 water. Build a terraformer on their clean water planet and move 1, 2, 3, 4. That didn't work out as well for the gray as they would have liked. Now the yellow says water or energy. Well, they have no energy. None. I think they're going to produce energy and get 1. Then we see the blue player will get 1 here. And the gray player will get 2 energy. And I believe that is it. Deal. Well, he probably did not plan on being so low on resources. He offers this to the yellow player for this, and the yellow player says, no, I'm good. I'm good. I got a factory. And I think the blue player is going to go to the market and spend 2 water to get the ore they're missing. And they're going to call off the trades. Gray player wants to do a scoring. Now here's the problem. I don't know if I miscounted or I looked at the wrong items. I was hoping they would have the chance to build, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star systems, or points there, but they would be losing the bonuses. So I think they want to go with the star systems. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue player. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, oop, I did that in the wrong order, but that's okay. Yellow player. 1, 2. And since the blue and gray tied, no bonus. And the yellow is trying to move to either the red dot, which would be here, or to the large yellow. They have this, they can move for free, so why not? Why not move for free? And let me look at these and see what they want. Oh, is that what they want? It's another ore, so why not? They will go there. And now the other players get a chance to follow. Taking a quick look at the blue players' travel cards, they don't have that symbol. They would like to tag along, but they only have 1 fuel, and their ships are planet bound. They don't have enough fuel to reach. So anytime any travel card is played, anywhere, you can spend 1 energy to just put one of your ships into deep space. And that's what they will do. But the gray player is in the same boat. They are the other player that does not have that symbol for some reason. So they will spend their 2 energy, and they are going to fly their ship into this system and have a look at those planets. And ooh, they found the other ore. They're going to go ahead and land there. So now they have some sort of production on all 3 of them. That was all. Now the yellow player, if they had more fuel, they could move their other ship, but they're going to leave it there, hopefully get another production out of it. They could, for 1 energy, just move this ship into deep space. The gray player wants to produce either the gold or the ore. Well, they don't have either one, and now they can produce one of either one. They see the blue player is the only other player right now producing gold, so they are going to produce gold, the zozodium. They will take one. The blue player will take one, and the yellow player misses out this time. Yellow player, though, they played this card. They happen to have one. So no matter which planet they found, they could produce. So they will produce this ore. And the gray player will receive one. And the blue player this time misses out. Now the blue player wants to build. For one of each ore and then an extra gold, they will build a factory. So let me get these out of the way, and they're going to replace this colony with a factory. The gray player does not have enough resources to build anything. The blue player is now out of resources, so they're done building. The gray player can't build, but the yellow player is very excited. For one food and one water and any ore, they will place a colony. We're done with the building, and then the blue player says, let's produce food or gold or the zozodium. They're going to produce zozodium, so they will get two of those. And then looking across the board, the gray will get one, and yellow will not get any. Scoring card, gray. Gray was the last player to play a scoring card, so they will get to keep the first player token. And the yellow player played their third scoring card, so they will collect those back to hand. Let me grab the cards. We'll be ready for the next round. Gray is the first player. They want to jump out in the lead. Yellow second player. They want to go early in the round. And then blue is the third player. They follow. Gray jumps out. Yellow wants to go in the lead, or as early as they can, and so does blue. And now gray says, I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to go, you know what, I'll go there. And yellow says, nope, 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 I want to go as quick as I can. And blue says, I'm not in too big of a hurry either. I'll just go there. And then gray says, I will go here. Yellow says, thank you. And so does blue. Let's see how this turns out. First card is water or food production. The gray player has water but no food, so they will activate this plant and produce this colony and produce a food, and that is it. Blue player will get one food here, and that is it. And then the yellow player will get two food, so they're happy with that. And then I don't see any more. Yellow player says, I want to score. He just got his scoring cards back. At the end of last turn, he built a colony. He's like, I want to score colonies and factories, and now I'm going to do it right since I messed up last time. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points. So they go to 53. That means that this set of cards will be the end of the game. Blue player will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yellow did not quite get the bonus, but they're hoping they'll have enough of a lead that nobody will be able to catch them. Gray will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we go to blue wants to travel to, well, they have a ship already in deep space, so they're going to travel to here. And I think, let's see, they have this ore and they have that ore, and so maybe they could get the other ore. Let's see what they have here to choose from. Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and land on that planet. Now the other players have a chance. Well, the gray player has no energy and the yellow player only has 1. They don't want to spend their fuel to go into Atmos or to break atmosphere, and then they don't have ships in those. They're going to pass. That's the end. Blue's out of energy. They can't move their other ship. Build. Gray wants to build. Well, they have 1 water, 1 food, and 1 ore. So they will build a colony. We go to the yellow player. They do not have the resources to build anything at this time. And it looks like the blue player does not as well. So that is the end of the build phase. Now we have the red or the red circle or the red swirl. And so for 1 fuel, since he's been here several times and he's looked around, he knows there is an alien planet right here. He will land on the alien planet. Water or ore. Well, I think the blue player this time wants to get water, so they will get 2 water there. Then coming down, that looks like it for them. Gray player will get a water. The yellow player will get a water. And that's it. Yellow player says food or the ore. Well, they definitely want to get 2 of this. And do they have any more? I don't think so. Blue player will get 2, unfortunately. Oops, accidentally gave them 3. And then the gray player, I think that is the one they don't have, correct? They have that. They have the. Ooh, they do. They do. They have 2 presents there now. Excellent. And now the yellow wants to trade. They were hoping to offer someone 1 food for a gold, but the only player that has any gold right now is the blue player, or the Zodium, and they don't want to make that trade. They have 1 food, so he will trade with the bank. Now he has, the yellow player has 1 of each ore and an extra ore. Then we go to, he ends the trading. We go to this card, the build phase. And I do need to move back a little bit because I didn't do this on camera. As soon as you flip over an alien planet and reveal it, you grab the alien artifact deck and draw a card randomly. So the yellow player has an artifact that the other players don't know about. So now the build phase, the blue player will build another colony. Then we go to the gray player. They are happy to build for 1 of each ore and an extra ore a factory, and they're going to replace this colony there. And then the yellow player is going to do something similar. They have 2 of 1 ore and then 1 of each other. And they are going to build a colony and a factory. And let's see, energy. Let's just go ahead and put it there. And then we go. There's no other building that can be done. The blue player has 2 of 1 ore and 2 of another. They don't have quite enough stuff. Gray player says energy or the ore. Well, they want to manufacture or mine some of this ore, so they will get 2. Then the blue player, or I'm sorry, the yellow player just built a factory, so they will get 3. And then the blue player, yep, they will get 2 as well. So that was unfortunate. They got their ore too late to be able to build, and then the blue player didn't really get an advantage there. Blue player wants to score factories and colonies or starships. Well, it looks like they're tied in both categories. They was not able to pull ahead. Now, since blue was not able to pull ahead of yellow in either category, but they are ahead of gray in one of the categories, and that's the starships. So, starships will score 2 points for each one. Well, blue has 1, 2, so they will get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gray only has 1 starship, so they will only get 2 points. And then yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4. They've recently built their second. There was a tie for the most, no bonus points. Then we go to the last card of the game, and that is resources, either the same or different. That is the gray player's choice. It's very unfortunate. He was really hoping that he could have more of the ore than everyone else, but everyone else was able to jump into it. Maybe he should have gone with the energy. He would have had 2 energy. Everybody else would have only gotten 1. But again, if you say same resource, you can use, you get your choice of the resource. So he's choosing same resource. And for his resource, he's choosing this one. He will get 2 points. 1, 2. Then the yellow player, actually the yellow player should go first, and he says, hey, I have 3 of the same resource. I'm going to take 3 points. 1, 2, 3, setting at 60. And then the blue player, if I can show you their cards, which is unfortunate for them, they have 2 of this ore, 2 of this ore, 2 of that ore. So if the gray player had chosen different resources, 1, 2, 3, 4, they would have won by getting the bonus 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Because they would have lost 3, and they would have scored. They only had 2 different resources. They would have scored 1 less, and then they would have got 1, 2, 3 bonus. It would have been like a 1-point game or a 2-point game. But either way, that's the game. Unfortunate. I did mess up once or twice with the gray player and possibly the other players. And the game score could have turned out differently if I would have remembered on that scoring card. And it says it right on it. I don't know why I was doing it wrong. Score the colonies and factories, or score the starships. And the first time or 2 I did that, I only chose 1. Don't know why. But anyway, there's a full 3-player game of Ad Astra. Let's talk about it real quick. Tell you what I think. The yellow player's alien artifact was a materia mutator. So when production was called, they could have gotten different production, but it was only called, I think, 1 time, maybe twice after that, and they didn't really need to use it. Didn't come into play, so we just didn't use it. Okay, so first off, if you watched the video, I am sorry I messed up on that scoring card. I don't know why I did that. It's annoying to me. But the second thing is, if you saw at the beginning, I was talking about the box insert. I mean, I think it's great. It isn't perfect. Stuff can shake around, especially if you're tipping it and some pieces might get moved around. It's not a big deal. I mean, it does its job. It's really good. The 2 artifact cards that it talks about possibly removing from the game, okay? So, this one, yes, this one, the Magnum et Antiquum Arcanum. So the great old secret. You keep this card secret, and at the end of the game, you just reveal it to score 10 points. So somebody that's in last could win, especially in that game you saw. It was very close. The Omnibus Rebus Responsion, or the answer to everything. You keep this card secret, and at the end of the game, you reveal it. And if you have exactly 42 points, you win. I almost want to say that if you somehow, playing this game, got a score to exactly 42 points and then had this card, you deserve to win. Because the scoring, you saw in the game, you never know when players are going to play their scoring cards. And you are almost always guaranteed to get some points. So, what do I think about this game? This is one of those games that I saw on clearance during a Christmas sale, buying some gifts and stuff like that. And I said, hey, this is pretty cool looking. It's got all these little planets. He's got these cool little plastic pieces, and you explore lands. And, you know, I looked up and read about it a little bit, and I said, okay, this is enough that I think I'd be interested in it. At this price, I got to get it. And you probably heard in the video, I called the food resource wood once. I made a comment that he didn't want to make that trade. This isn't Catan. You know, you can't negotiate like that. For me, this replaces Catan any day of the week. Catan, more people know how to play it. It's simple enough. You just sit down and play. And I've had games where people aren't really even at the table. We're up cooking. We're up doing different things. People are talking. It's like, oh, is it my turn? You know, you roll the dice. But with Catan, every game we've played, no matter what the player count, and we actually like to play with the Knights expansion. I can't remember. But anyway, where you get to build up, you have the little flip book and you get to build up your city. Because every time we've played, there's always one player that just gets shafted. Does not matter how many sixes and eights and nines they build on, it seems like their numbers never come up. And people be like, hey, well, don't walk away from the table. You want to trade? I don't have any resources. I haven't had any resources in 3 turns. I can't do anything. And it's just frustrating. There's always one person that's just left out of the game. Maybe that's just bad experience from us, but I mean, we've played the Catan several times. Too many, because it's something easy enough to teach people. And then when we taught it to people, some of them went out and got it themselves. And every time we, show up at their house, they're like, let's play. And it got to where a couple of us were like, nah, I'm done. Tried this game. First time me and some friends played it. We had the instruction book. We're learning as we play. It took 25, 30 minutes, and we looked at each other and was like, that can't be right. We had to have done something wrong. And so we start flipping through the book, and we spend another 5 minutes, and we're like, no, that's right. It's like, man, that game was quick. It's like, okay, we understand how to play. Let's play again. Played the game in like 15 minutes. We're like, this is ridiculous. We get the feel of Catan, where you kind of move this way, make a path, where in this you explore the planets, then you get to build, then you collect your resources. You can even trade with players if you want, trade with the bank, and you choose when you want to score. You can make the game drag out, or you can make it really quick. I've never had a game of this where the game lasts until the last planet's flipped over. Never. I have never done that. Maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we're too pushy with the points, but the game is quick. I think it's great. I think it might be hard to get now. It's going to be hard to find for you if you're interested. But to me, it is a great old game. I always look forward to playing it. It's just silly, quick fun. It is hard to explain. There are some things in the rule book. If you build a colony on an alien planet, you'll get 3 points, but it never produces resources. If you build a factory, I think you get 6, and it never produces any resources. Some of the, like the terraforming, when you build it, you instantly get points. The other things, you don't get points until they come up. You always get bonus points if you outscore on the scoring card. So, you can't get your scoring cards back until you have spent all 3 of them unless you have the artifact. There is an artifact that you can play it and it says immediately take back your scoring cards. So, there are some weird things like that. If you can keep the rule book handy and you have people that are looking for something more and they're not worried about not understanding all the rules the first time, it's a great game. I really, really enjoy it. Let's add Astra. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. Thanks so much for watching. Everyone, please be safe, stay healthy, and God bless.